We're back. You're watching the Jersey City Show. I am here. You are there. Kind of a busy week, even though I'm not really doing many of the city issues, but we'll get to city issues. Shielding kids. There was an atrocious crime committed. Young kid, popular class clown, who sounded like me when he was in school. Stabbed a girl that he wanted to take to the prom to death. Of course, she rejected his offer to go to the prom. How heinous is this? You know, I start wondering again what I spoke about many times in the past about shielding the kids. You have this heinous, terrible for both families, particularly the family that lost their beautiful daughter. We have this. We have school shoot-ups. We have kids' suicides. Again, both of my daughters graduated from college. Both great kids, well-educated. One will be a doctor by the end of this year. My wife did a great job, but it was really the family. Really, my wife deserves all the credit. You have to protect your kids, but you can't put them in a bubble. You can't shield them. You can't lock them up at home. And the thing now is the play dates. You got to let kids be kids. I don't know to the degree that I tell you, growing up when I was a kid, our adults would have went to jail. And there was an adult party, kids watch kids. I was like the babysitter when I was like 10. And the parents would be out till my uncles and aunts would be out till midnight. But they didn't go too far. The family owned a restaurant, so they really were partying locally. But I was the one watching the kids. You do that now. Let the cops come, find out there's a 10-year-old watching a bunch of 6 and 8 years old. Everybody's diapers is coming. But it was a different time. But I'm going to tell you, as kids, we were never alone. We were always with our buddies. We got on the bikes. We explored. I'm telling you, after school, if we weren't working in the restaurant, after school we hooked up with the gang. We were down at Snake Hill. We were down at Little Snaky. We were in Kearney looking for frogs. We were in North Bergen. We were up on Journal Square. Nobody knew who the hell we were until the can company lights went on. But we learned. We learned what it was like to be with other people. Now we ban everything. They got the thing with the bullies in school. You know what? After you're done with school, there's bullies in the workplace. There's corporate bullies. You're going to have to deal with bullies. In Patterson, they're banning toy guns. Boys play with guns, and we already put the safety things on there, the red cap in the front. Boys have to be boys. Kids have to be kids. They have to go out and do things. They have to go and play. Could be a reason why in school we have these riots and the wiling that goes on. These kids, they're just, freedom hits them. They're not locked up in the backyard or front yard. They're not at the play date, whatever the case is. They may not be able to deal with being on their own because they're locked up and watched constantly. There's always the concern of stranger danger. The kids need to deal with adversity. Listen, if a girl tells you no, you're going to have to be able to deal with that. There's going to be a lot of no's in the future. Once you get out of school, once you leave home, you're going to hear no a lot. There's going to be adversity you're going to have to deal with. Failure you're going to have to. Failure is an old friend of mine. But you have to overcome that. Dating with a girl's going to I'll tell you a quick story. I worked for ShopRite. One of the earliest remembrances of dates, I wanted to go out with the girl in the meat department. Got turned down. I felt rejected. Now, I don't want to sound how shallow this sounds, but within 10 minutes, I asked another girl that was a cashier, and she agreed to go out on a date, which at that point, I guess it set my life and saying, you know what? You can deal with adversity. Girls going to say no. One girl says no, 2 others will say yes. It's like Hail Hydra, you know what I mean? You're going to have to learn to deal with the rejection. You're going to have to deal with not being the one picked for the team. You're going to have to be the one that hit into a double play. All these things, you're going to have to be the guy who swung and missed and ended the game. You got to keep scores. Kids are going to have to learn that there's no guarantees. You educate them, do the best you can, but you got to let them explore. You have to let them be kids. Hang out with the guys. Again, I guess, as my wife said, we grew up in a bubble down in Dogpatch. But it was a different world. Everybody nobody got into drugs. So there was something said. But I'm telling you what, we were out there doing things. We were out there exploring. We were playing baseball. We were playing basketball. We were out doing things. We were playing bottle caps. Remember bottle caps? Our parents or guardians didn't know where the hell we were until those can company lights went on. Then we knew it was time to go home, until you reach a certain age and you could stay out later than that. But you know, it also, you got to look at social media. I don't know if kids can handle rejection, because social media, it's a different world. You know, you can delete people, you can unfriend them, all this. In the real world, that doesn't happen, and your feelings get hurt. But one thing I think kids have to do, they have to learn to deal with adversity. And I think that's something that as parents, we're not doing a good job of. And really, I'm not sure if we can go back to the freewheeling days when I was a kid, but I tell you what, it wasn't a bad way to grow up. Made a lot of friends, we did a lot of things, we knew how to get home. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Jersey City Show. We'll be right back.